Did you watch the F1 race? Yes, we're going to be talking about it, but let's start off by talking about something else, Damon Hill. This video is going to be talking about Formula One, and that does include the race and all. However, Damon Hill's starting us off, so grab a seat and get ready to learn about why Damon was so worried. First, Damon Hill and his worries. Damon Hill's a Formula One champion, but before the big race, he was worried about the high-speed street circuit at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. This is known as the fastest street circuit in the world, and people were racing to get it built before the actual race. Hill said, "The track we're going to discover, I think it's going to be a big challenge by the look of things. I'm a bit worried about the speed. I mean, there's not much runoff. They've got the safer barrier that they're using, which is like they do in Indianapolis, but it's going to be very high speed and not much runoff. So it's high risk, high jeopardy. That always gets your attention as a racing driver." Since 2017, Formula One had visited the high-speed Baku circuit, which some say is like the new circuit in Jeddah. Hill said, "I think it's a very difficult one to judge because it's such an unusual-looking track. I compared it to possibly like Baku, and I was told by Ross Braun, who said, no, it's not like that at all. It's a completely different type of track. It's got banked corners and stuff. Some of the sweeps look quite long, so I'm racking my brains. I think it could be a cross between something like Singapore and Baku." Well, Hill was worried, but then the race ended up happening, and we're sure you know what happened. However, let's talk about it. Do you think Hill was right to worry? Next, let's look at Max Verstappen. Come on, we all knew we were going to have to speak about this. Well, congratulations to Verstappen for being crowned the world champion. We bet he's feeling amazing about everything. Let's remember that Lewis Hamilton was on course to complete his comeback and that there was a high possibility he was going to win. I mean, loads of people thought he was going to. However, Verstappen came out of the woodworks. That safety car period late in the race really changed the tide because then Verstappen overtook Hamilton on that final lap and became a world champion for the first time. Sky F1 asked Verstappen to sum up everything he was feeling, and he said, "It's just insane. My goal when I was little, of course, was to become a Formula One driver, and you hope for wins. You hope to be on the podium. When they play the national anthem, you hope that one day they play yours, and when you stand here and they tell you you are the world champion, it's something incredible." Especially also my dad, the special moment we had here, all the things go back through your mind throughout all the years that you spend together, traveling, of course, for that goal. And you're here together. Everything comes together in that last lap. Insane. These people, my whole team, my family, my friends, my best family friends, the people I grew up with since go-karting, and the ones who pushed me to where I am today. Most of them were here. It just sounds amazing, honestly. Wow, we bet it does sound amazing, and he deserves it. We're very happy that he's won and that he's able to celebrate with those close to him. His fans also give him a lot of love and support. Verstappen had this to say about his fans: "It's incredible to see all this orange, but over the world, they've supported me throughout my whole career, especially, of course, in Formula One. This support is just incredible, and I hope I can do this for a very long time with the support of my great fans." Let's be real. Having that support from fans probably really helps him on those down days that he has. You need that fan support to keep going sometimes, so it's great that he sees that. Stay tuned for even more Formula One news. There is no appeal. The late call by the race direction that allowed the cars to split to unlap themselves under the safety car on the penultimate tour left a lot of Mercedes fans upset. That's why so many on social media are saying that Mercedes has let fans down or that they're being silenced by the FIA. So people have been wondering why they're not pursuing an appeal. Well, it comes down to two reasons. There was a conversation with the FIA, but only insofar as the governing body agreed to launch an investigation that can come up with the answers the team wants. Secondly, team principal Toto Wolff and his colleagues recognize that no matter how strong they think their case is, they're not going to win it. That also means there would be no change to the result of the race and thus the championship. They don't want to start up a long and messy process that could damage the image of Mercedes and hurt Formula One. That's why they decided not to continue with the appeal. Wolff said, "After the race, I called Jean Todt and Peter Beyer and said that I don't agree with the decision. Of course, I knew that it was purely a personal emotion because we had to sort out the legal remedies and whether we could protest at all or against what. And we did that immediately in my office. We got all the engineers, lawyers, and just all together, they decided to file this protest." Ron Meadows and the team went to see the stewards twice at the invitation of the stewards, and then we waited for the decision, which was negative. And then it was a matter of going back to the hotel and sulking or thinking about what had happened. Or on the other hand, to celebrate an 8th constructor's title with the team. And that's what I did, trying to push aside the frustration about the decision that cost the drivers world title until the next day. We don't blame him for wanting to blow off some steam. Obviously, he was going to be frustrated after everything that's happened. They then went ahead and gave notice about an appeal, so they had 96 hours to consider their options. Wolff continued and said, "We've spent all the last few days being in dialogue with the FIA, with Lewis and Ola and his colleagues to make the right decision, and we vacillated over and over again in those days in between. We're going to go through with the appeal, and we're going to pull back despite all the answers and just try to make the sport better and use this moment to just make the decision-making more robust." The final decision to withdraw the appeal was made on Wednesday evening. However, people are wondering if the FIA even admitted to any mistake on their part. Wolf said, "I think it's very difficult in such a situation to compromise your legal position, and I think for the FIA it wasn't clear if we would go all the way with the appeal, and therefore you cannot expect any admission. I think they have taken the right step. The president has convinced the World Motorsport Council to set this commission in place to look at the incidents of the Abu Dhabi race and to avoid any such situations going forward. All of us welcome that decision. I don't think it was easy. The statement of the FIA, when you understand the nature of the governing body, is a strong and robust one. Obviously, as a race, you would wish full admission, but that is not possible at that stage. I think we have taken a stop in the right direction. It is a modest step considering the magnitude of the failures on Sunday night, but better a modest step than not." He's right about that. Any step in the right direction is a good step, no matter the size. Also, Mercedes didn't think they would win the International Court of Appeal. This was also tied with Wolf criticizing the sports judicial system, which is bold. He said, "We believe we had a very strong case, and if you look at it from the legal side, it would have been judged in a regular court. You could almost guarantee that we would have won. But the problem with the ICA is the way it is structured. The FIA can't really mark their own homework, and there's a difference between being right and obtaining justice. So there's a lesson to be learned. How can we make sure that going forward in situations like that, the right decisions are being taken?" Well, we hope that all the right decisions are made in the future, but we all know how big groups like this work, and I'm not feeling very hopeful about it. What about you? That's everything we have for you today, folks. We've spoken everything about Formula One, and I have one question for you. What did you think about the race? Let us know down below.